What is going on, everybody? Hello and welcome to the Money Shift Automotive News Show. I am your host, Thanasi, and today we're doing it a little bit different. We're doing it live. And you know what that means? That means we're going to be going to different news sites and talking about the automotive news as we see it. Ooh, I do realize my audio is coming out of one mic, so let me just fix that. Or one side, rather. Alright, I think that's better. I'm going to pause the music just so I can hear it. Hold on. Sorry, guys. Sorry about the delay here. Alright, I muted myself. Alright, perfect. I think we're good. Love it. Alright. So, folks, we're going to be doing this very similar to how a lot of political pundits do live news shows. They go to various news websites and talk about the latest and greatest in their respective worlds. So for me, we're going to go to different automotive news websites and we're going to talk about all of the latest car news that has been going on in the automotive segment. And there has been a lot. For folks that have not been in tune with this week's automotive news, fear not, for that is why we do this show. And at the end, I will be giving an update on my personal automotive situation and where we are at and when more file pages will be coming down the line. So we're going to start over with the fine folks at Car Scoops, and we're going to see what automotive news there is to talk about. Now, there is one super large one to kick us off, arguably one of the most important vehicles that's been unveiled this year. The 2023 Lexus RX brakes cover. But the thing about this is, guys, is that not only is there an all-new Lexus RX, but there's a lot different. This truly is all new. This is not a facelift. This is not an update. This is not, slight tweaks to the bumper interior. No. This is an all new Lexus RX. And if you guys are in tune with the automotive industry, you know that the Lexus RX is monumentally important. Not only to the brand, but to the luxury segment. Lexus sells oodles. I repeat, oodles of the Lexus RX. They sell so many of these luxury vehicles. And what happens is when you are revising a luxury vehicle, or when you're revising any vehicle that sells like the Lexus RX sells, when you make big changes, it gets very risky. So let's talk about what Lexus did with the RX. First, we're going to show it off in a couple of photos, and then we'll talk about the specific changes that Lexus made. The first thing that you guys are going to notice is this schnoz, is the nose, is the beak on the front of the Lexus RX. Now, I got to say that is the one angle, that I do not like. I think the Lexus RX looks phenomenal from every other vantage point. But right from the front there, it does not look the part. I am a big fan of the sort of Heckenblend light bar here. And you'll notice there's an RX 500H badge. We'll get to what that means in just a second. The interior is very Lexus NX-like. But because this is the RX where it's slightly bigger, slightly wider, it looks more integrated into the overall interior versus the Lexus NX where it kind of just looks like it's got a large tablet screen slapped on there, if you will. But overall, I think this is a really good-looking machine. You'll notice these two indicators here. We'll get to what that means in just a second. Nice inviting rear seat. Interesting layout here. You'll see there is no more mouse pad. That was very prominent with Lexus RXs of past. But yeah, let's get to the details because I think this is where things get a little bit spicy. All right. Lexus has sold over 100,000 Lexus RXs annually for the last 8 consecutive years. guys. That is pretty big, okay? Lexus has sold 100,000 or more every year for the last 8 years. Now, for reference, okay, Alfa Romeo as a car company in the United States in 2021 sold 18,000 cars. So they sell a lot more. Oops. So they sell a lot more cars. Safe to say they sell a lot more cars than Alfa Romeo. So this car is very important as a result. But I want to talk about first the different the different engine level options that are available in the Lexus RX. So the first is the base. Now, we've known the Lexus RX to have a 3.5-liter V6 since, a while, or at least some form of V6, whether it was 3-liter, 3.5-liter, something like that. It's always been a naturally aspirated V6. It's always been a 6-cylinder engine that has been from a Toyota Camry product. What up, Jack? How's it going, brother? Hell yeah. Good to know. I do too, man. I think this is a very good looking SUV. Again, the only thing that I don't like is that direct front view. But let's get to the engine. So gone is the naturally aspirated 3.5-liter V6. In is the turbocharged 2.4-liter 4-cylinder engine from the Lexus NX that produces 275 horsepower and 317 pound-feet of torque, which is a decrease of 20 horsepower, but an increase of 50 pound-feet of torque, which will mean that this should accelerate or have better passing speed than that V6 will. It won't feel like it's wheezing because it'll have a little bit more torque. The 3.5-liter V6 in the last generation RX 350 was a little bit peaky. You would have to literally rev it out if you wanted to pass anything on the highway. This turbo 4-cylinder should mitigate some of that with the oodles of torque. Now, that engine is connected to an 8-speed automatic transmission, and you can get it in front or all-wheel drive with its maximum all-wheel drive performance coming in at 7.2 seconds to 60, which is considerably faster than the outgoing model. But things get better from there, because even though this thing only gets 24 mpg, which is pretty much the exact same as the existing Lexus RX, you can get a hybrid. Gas prices are pretty high, so people want things that get better efficiency, so why not get a hybrid? And Lexus has multiple options for you. If you want efficiency, you go for the Lexus RX 350h. This gives you a 2.5-liter naturally aspirated 4-cylinder engine with hybrid standard all-wheel drive that gets you 246 horsepower, 236 pound-feet of torque, which is a lot lower than the old 450, but you get 33 miles to the gallon. So you get an improvement of 9 mpg combined. That's pretty impressive and a big leap. Okay, now I know what you guys are thinking. You're like, hey, T, they had a hybrid of the Lexus RX before. That was the Lexus RX 450h. My in-laws actually have a 450h. 308 horsepower, 247 pound-feet of torque in that model. Where's the spice? Where's the performance? That thing was fast. That thing was fun. And we'll fast forward right to that. You can get the Lexus now in RX 500h trim. Okay? Now, 500h gets you a 2.4-liter turbocharged 4-cylinder engine from the base model and gives you not one, not two. Wait a minute. It's just one. Sorry, I'm getting my cars confused here. So the 500h gives you a hybrid motor or a hybrid electric engine with a 2.4-liter turbo engine, giving you 367 horsepower, 407 pound-feet of torque. This is the promising performance RX that we haven't had forever. And while its 0 to 60 time is 5.9 seconds, which is a little bit slower than cars like the MDX Type S, it still gives you 26 miles to the gallon. So you're getting, 0 to 60 of sub 6 second in a luxurious SUV, and you are still getting nearly 30 miles to the gallon combined. Now, Jack says, it's a 350 with a 2.4 liter engine. Shouldn't it be 250h? Sure. But Lexus is gone from doing this sort of number equals cylinder or equals displacement. Gone. Because the base model isn't the RX 240. It's just, the regular RX, right? Like, they're not doing it like they used to, right? And they didn't even do it before, because the hybrid version previously was the RX 450, but it still used the same stuff. Do you know what I mean? So the RX 350 is now a 2.4 liter turbo. The RX 350h is a naturally aspirated 2.4 liter with a hybrid. The RX 500 is a 2.4 liter turbo with the hybrid. But then there's one more. There's the RX 450h Plus, which is a plug-in hybrid, which gives you a 2.5 liter four-cylinder engine, and not one, not two, but three electric motors that gives you a plug-in electric-only range of 37 miles. 37 miles! That's nutso. What's going on, Blunden? I agree. I think it's a good-looking SUV overall. I do agree. So you guys, you have your pick of the litter here, okay? Before, the RX 350 or the RX overall was cast in one mold only. You could get a naturally aspirated V6 of some sort, and that was it. Now, you can get a base turbo, you can get a base hybrid, you can get a turbo hybrid, or you can get a plug-in hybrid. That's pretty awesome. So massive kudos to Lexus on that. But the changes don't just stop there, because there's a lot more technology in this car. Now, Lexus was able to pull out 198 pounds out of this RX. They made the wheelbase longer, they shortened the overhangs, and they gave it an all-new multi-link rear suspension design. So this thing is going to drive oodles better than the current generation RX. It's lighter, it's got multi-link, and it's more rigid. So it should have some good handling chops. It won't just waft all over the place like the current RX. And if you guys want to see a review on the current RX, check the channel. We got one. But things don't stop. Like I said, things don't stop with the changes to the engine, because they made a lot of changes to the interior, including the technology. So as you can see here, there's a lot of ambient lighting. It's quad motor. Yeah, technically, that's true. That is true, Jack. That is true. 14 inches optional. Base models come with a 10-inch screen, which is huge. Huge. You can get ash bamboo. Ooh, we love that. We love that. Hold on. There was something here on the tech, and I want to find it for you guys. Here we go. You get Lexus's Safety System 3.0, which is all-speed dynamic radar cruise control, which means both at 0 and at 80. Okay, so you can drive these things in traffic, no problem, with the radar cruise. It has curve speed management, which is, call this your Tesla autopilot style system. And you have a pre-collision system with pedestrian detection, intersection detection, and motorcycle detection. So there is a host of safety features in this car. Safe to say, it is going to be one of the cooler machines on the market. Blunden says, waiting for my Lightning with a May 20th reservation, but my wife is looking for some type of EV or plug-in EV. Blunden, let me ask you, do you have an order in for the Lightning? And is this other vehicle in addition to that Lightning for your wife? Because we could definitely talk through some options for sure. Jack says, when's the new MoneyShift Files cars arriving? Jack, that's a good question. We're in a holding pattern. The newest Money Shift Files car is at port in New York in this current time, so I'm just waiting for it to arrive to get shipped to the dealer. So that's my status right now. So I'm waiting on Toyota at this point. Okay. The next vehicle, which is also very important, comes by way of the fine folks at BMW. Now, BMW has an extensive SUV range that we've covered in the past, okay? They have everything from the X1 all the way to the X7. Let's take a quick look at BMW's current SUV range, and I want to tell you guys why this car is very important. So if we look at their SUVs, we have the X1, which is the $35,000 base SUV. We have the X2, which is, the same thing, just a little bit edgier, $36,000. The X3, $43,000. The X4, again, same thing, just a little bit edgier and a lot more expensive. The X5, the X6, again, same thing, just a little bit edgier. And then we have the X7, okay? BMW just unveiled a new X1. All of these SUVs have received pretty major altering in the past, except this guy. You can even see it when we're looking at their website, right? Looking at BMW's website, all of these cars look new, all of these cars look fresh, except two of them. And that's these two. And that's because they are the most outdated SUVs they got. But say no more. My wife's car is in addition to the Lightning. Gotcha. Blunden, what's the budget on an EV or a plug-in EV? Maybe we can throw over some options to help you out there. So as you can see, guys, this is very old in respect to the lineup, but that's because this car has been out for a long time. But say no more, because for 2023, the X1 is here. It is bigger, it is better, and it is a little more expensive. You'll see here the 2022 X1 starts at $35,400, while the 2023 X1 starts at $38,600. Now you're saying to me, T, what do we get for that additional $3,000? Should be fairly early in model year 23. Nice. What model are you shooting for? What trim level of the Lightning blended are you going for? So let's see what they changed to earn their $3,000. Okay, is this car worth $3,000 more than the outgoing BMW X1? Now we'll talk about size first. It's 1.7 inches longer, 0.9 inches wider. It is 1.7 inches taller. So this thing overall is larger than the outgoing BMW X1. And you get some new colors. Okay, whatever. But the inside is where the money starts to really be seen. 10.25-inch instrument cluster, central information display. You get 20 inches of continuous glass real estate right behind the driver. Now that is pretty awesome, and it uses BMW iDrive operating system 8, which, by the way, is silky smooth and very solid, super easy to operate. You'll also notice a wireless charger here as well, and overall a more premium appearance. If we go to the interior of this guy, you'll see what I'm talking about when I say that this thing is a massive upgrade over this vehicle. Let's go right here. Yeah, see? So this is the view of the existing, okay, the existing BMW X1, and then bang, this is the view of the current or the future X1. So you guys can see here, okay, this is very old, very antiquated. Yes, it works, but you got a small screen up here. You got a lot of physical buttons, which we like, and then not much going on down here. Over here, though, okay, let's see if we can zoom in here. You got a touch screen. Not a lot of physical buttons here. You got a lot here. Nice wireless charging hub. Overall, more modern place to be. You do have some physical buttons here for the defroster, which is nice. You'll see the modes and things like that here. But overall, it's a lot more premium, right? So there's that. What did they do in the engine department? One engine to rule them all in America. The 2023 BMW X1 xDrive 28i comes with a revised 2-liter engine. It incorporates a Miller combustion cycle. The engine now makes 241 horsepower and 295 pound-feet of torque. Those are good numbers. Coupled with a 7-speed DCT. Nice. The X1 goes from 0 to 60 in 6.2 seconds. That's quick. That's quick for those keeping score at home. That is 0.3 seconds slower than the most performance-oriented Lexus RX, the RX 500H that we just went over. So pretty interesting there. Blendon says, XLT, I'd like the 312A, but not willing to pay the $9,500 for the very minimal upgrades. I'm fine with the XLT. Yeah, that sounds awesome. The base XLT sounds like a good move for sure. Jake says, my neighbor bought a new X1 for his wife, hated it, traded it for a Countryman. Interesting, because that's pretty much like a mini X1. But anyway. So it's got more size. It's got more power. It's got more interior features. Safe to say that this car warrants the $3,000 price increase. Now, you might be thinking, T, what's its competitor set and what do they cost? And I'll tell you, the fine folks over at Lexus got one of the chief competitors to this vehicle, and that's the NX. And it starts at $39,425. And if we go over to Audi USA, okay, we got the Q3. The Q3 is also a model that competes, and it starts at $36,400. So the Q3 now is one of the cheaper machines. Let's see what the GLA costs over for Mercedes. $36,400. So the GLA and the Q3 will be the cheaper options, but they certainly will be smaller than this new revised X1. What do you guys think about the looks of this? I do think it is greatly improved. I actually really like this rear taillight design over the existing model, which was starting to feel a little bit long in the tooth, if you will. I don't even mind the grills here. I think they look fine on the front end. 0.3 slower than the MC3 Turbo. Yeah, there you go. There you go. Modern cars are just too damn fast. We got a basic luxury SUV that goes just as fast as a performance car of the early 2000s did. Here we are. Here we are. It's the world we live in. People want everything fast. What are we going to do? Now, one of the interesting things, though, that came with the BMW X1 was BMW actually released an all-electric version of the X1. Oh, my goodness. Look at this. We just got a full suite of Toyotas that just came out as we were talking that we're definitely going to get to. So they released an all-electric version of the X1 called the iX1. It's got 313 horsepower, 272-mile range, but it's not coming to the U.S. 272 miles of range. That's a good number. Why is BMW so ashamed to bring this car to the U.S., I wonder? Very curious. But it is a small battery pack, 64.7, which is about 20 kilowatt hours lower than a lot of the other cars. It can DC fast charge at 130 kilowatt, which means it can do 10 to 80 in 29 minutes, which is more than enough. And it can do between 250 to 270 miles, which, by the way, is pretty competitive with literally every SUV not named the Tesla Model Y. And it looks great. All electric. And yet, for whatever reason, we're not getting this model in the U.S. Very weird to me. Very, very weird to me. Curious why that is the case. Yeah, Jack, I hear you on models like the i3. People don't necessarily like the i3. But I think the i4, which, by the way, again, we'll go right back to the BMW website. The i4 is being well received. So these are the current electric vehicles that BMW offers. The i4 right here, $55,000. It offers a lot of vehicle for the money. The i4 Grand Coupe is being well received. And then this is like mixed reviews, but it's $80,000, so it's not for everyone anyway. But it was interesting to see that this one didn't come to our shores. Because the price, no pricing yet. So maybe that's why. Maybe they thought it was going to be around the price of this vehicle, and they thought it would undercut the i4, so they didn't want to bring in the iX, but I just thought it was very interesting to see that move from BMW. Okay, this is hot off the press. Literally just came in. 2023 Toyota Corolla GR Morizo Edition goes hardcore, drops rear seats, gains more torque. What the heck? While Toyota has yet to fully detail the hotly anticipated 2023 Corolla GR, the Japanese car maker turned out a second edition called the Morizo, which is a nickname used by Toyota Motor Company President Akio Toyoda when he's sitting behind the wheel of race cars. 200 units worldwide. So not a lot of these are going to be coming to the U.S. Benefits from a number of performance upgrades. Okay, let's see. So you can get it in Windchill Pearl and the matte gray. The matte gray, I would go Windchill Pearl. I would go white, 100%. Okay, Toyota started with the 1.6-liter turbo 3-cylinder engine. This is the same engine found in the Yaris GR. The standard GR Corolla gets 300 horsepower, 273 pound-feet of torque, but the Morizo gets 295 pound-feet of torque. Ooh, so nearly 300. And in addition to that, it saves 100 pounds. Removing the rear seats, rear door speakers, rear window regulator, rear wiper blade, and motor, and new 18-inch forged wheels. Other lightweight components include the forged carbon roof and aluminum hood, but these are all from the circuit. What the heck? It's got no back seats! Yo! What are they? Okay, look. I don't mind the fact that it has no back seats. This is not me saying, what the heck, it has no back seats. This is more me saying, we haven't even seen the Corolla GR yet, and we're already getting special editions. You're telling me this isn't something they could have done in a year? They could have done this in a year? They had to release this right now? They had to show this off right now? They just showed off a really cool edition called the Circle Edition. And now we're getting this? So what about all the people that ordered the Circuit Edition? They thought they got the really hot one. They thought they got the best one. They thought they got the coolest one. Nope. It's the Morizo. Where's the badging? I don't see any badging. There's no Morizo badging. You just sort of got to look in it, see no rear seats, and think, oh, okay, that's the car. Interesting. I like it. I don't mind that. It's not like I need a car to have badging, but interesting. Pricing details as well as number of cars to be offered in each market will be announced later this year. Toyota has also gone to the effort of developing a closer... Dude, are you serious? So let's review, okay? Earlier this year, Toyota released this, the Corolla GR, okay? Now, what the Corolla GR is a high-performance version of the Corolla with the Yaris GR power plant that the entire world would get access to. More importantly, that the United States would get access to. It is powered by the same 3-cylinder turbo engine, 6-speed manual transmission, and all-wheel drive system. And when it was debuted, we were given access to 2 models. We were provided with the Core, which is the base model, okay? And we were given access to the Special Circuit Edition, which was, you know, a bunch of forged carbon pieces and different wheels. But now, Toyota is showing off another version of the Corolla GR. Another one. Okay, so we haven't even gotten pricing details for the Core and the Circuit, and yet we're already being served to try to find out more information about this one, the Morizo Edition, which, by the way, isn't just a minor revision. This thing is truly unique. Okay, again, let's go over the details. It's got more torque. 295 instead of 273. It weighs 100 pounds less. It has everything removed from the rear. No seats, speakers, regulators, wipers, motors. It has new 18-inch wheels. So you'd think, okay, we could stop there. More power, less weight. Wow, that's cool. But no, Toyota did more. It has a closer ratio 6-speed manual transmission. And for those of you that don't know, a closer ratio means the gears are tighter, which means you'll have to shift more, but it will accelerate quicker. In addition to that, it's got unique suspension tuning, which whatever. That's not that crazy. Inside, new black and red trim details around the door handles, steering wheel, and side vents. And it also has suede and synthetic leather. So this is more than just like a couple things here, okay? They did a lot to this car. A lot. So it'll be very interesting to see where this comes price-wise. Guys, I wouldn't be surprised if this was a highly addendumized or highly marked up Toyota Corolla. You're probably looking at a $50,000 to $60,000 Corolla GR. As much as I hate to say it, this thing's probably going to be $60K. I'm not saying the base price, the MSRP, is going to be $60K. I'm saying after dealer markups, it's going to be $60K. Jack says, yes, keep making these special editions so the base model are easier to get. Well, you say that, but you also might have a lot of people that see this and now they want the base model because cars like this tend to promote the purchase of cheaper models. Okay, so that is the Toyota Corolla GR Morizo edition. Now let's see what the deal is with this thing. Catch a tiger by its toe with the 2023 GR86 Special Edition. Solar Shift orange paint. Catback exhaust. Black chrome tips. Okay, so see, this is sort of what I was thinking. Would be a Special Edition Corolla GR. This is effectively just paint, an exhaust, and some changes in trim. That's literally it. Ooh! GR86 Cup to compete in one make series. Besides introducing the special edition, Toyota released additional details about the GR Cup one make series that will be sanctioned by SRO America. Drivers will compete in the GR86 Cup, which feature a front splitter, ventilated hood, carbon fiber rear wing, and the model has also been equipped with a roll cage, a Borla exhaust, and adjustable shocks. That's cool. Ooh, it's got a 6-speed sequential transmission. Boo. Boo! I still want to trade my Mazda for one of these. This thing is super sick. Yeah, agreed. The Corolla GR is awesome. Whoa. Track locations and GR86 Cup pricing will be announced this summer, but a total of $1 million in cash prizes is up for grabs. So let's take a look at the aesthetics of the Solar Shift Edition, otherwise known as the Mazda Miata 30th Anniversary Edition. So it's orange. It's got these stripes right here. Nice black rear wing. GR86, such a good looking car. Such a good looking car. Where's the black logo? I don't know. Oh, the black Toyota logo, maybe? The wheels look nice. It's a good-looking car. If you don't plan to update, if you don't want to upgrade your machine, it's a good-looking car, and obviously the spec one looks sick. Okay, so 2 Toyotas unveiled. What is this third one? 2023 Toyota Corolla Cross Hybrid arrives in America with 194 horsepower and 37 mpg combined. I've been seeing all the memes from the Street Pipes Instagram about the Spec Sentra. Is that even real? We'll get to that. We can see. Let's see. Well, actually, we'll do it right now. Spec Nissan Sentra. I wouldn't be surprised. Yeah. There you go. Makes sense. Nissan has had a car in this sort of series for a bit. Oh, this is a Spec Sentra Cup. That's pretty cool. Exclusive to Canada, which makes sense why the Straight Pipe guys. Oh, the Mazda for an 8.6. Gotcha. The Straight Pipe guys, it makes sense that they're on this because it's a Canada exclusive. Pretty cool. Okay, let's see what the deal is here. Designed to be affordable and fuel efficient, the Corolla Cross Hybrid will be built at the Mazda Toyota manufacturing plant in Alabama and go on sale later this year. Toyota didn't release many specs, but confirmed that the model will have a 5th-generation hybrid system as well as standard all-wheel drive. 194 horsepower, 25 horsepower more than the current model. This will enable the Corolla Cross Hybrid to accelerate from 0 to 60 in 8 seconds, which, by the way, is more than enough, and return an estimated 37 mpg combined. That's nuts. That's nuts. 37 mpg combined out of a small hybrid all-wheel drive SUV is pretty impressive. Now we have the Toyota Corolla Cross. This is an existing vehicle. This is not a net new vehicle for the United States. What we are getting for the United States is now a hybrid version of this vehicle. This car competes with the Mazda CX-30. This car competes with the Honda HR-V. This car competes with the Nissan Juke, the Nissan Kicks, that caliber of vehicle. And it is that size. This is a small SUV. Now, this is more than enough SUV for most people in terms of size, but it is certainly a small SUV. This is smaller than something like a Ford Escape. This is smaller than something like a Toyota RAV4, like a Honda CR-V. This is smaller than all of those things. Now, again, this is more than enough SUV for the common person. But now, with the hybrid powertrain, you're getting best-in-class efficiency, and you are still retaining all-wheel drive. 37 mpg combined, by the way, so that includes a city number, is pretty impressive. So you should be able to see, well into the 40s, hell, even the 50s around town. Because if we look at the Ford Maverick Hybrid MPG figure, 42 city, 33 highway, okay? And I was able to get routinely 50 plus in the city, and I got, roughly that same number highway. Which means to me that this thing will easily be able to outdo that because it's got better aerodynamics than a pickup truck. Now, they're going to offer a bunch of different additions. You'll be able to get it with dynamic radar cruise control, auto high beams. That's cool. But yeah, nothing crazy here. But still, a really good addition, a welcome addition. No word on pricing, but this is a solid daily driver that will work for the majority of Americans. With 2023 Corolla gets major power update with all-wheel drive hybrid and more. Interesting. Toyota's ever-popular Corolla has been refreshed for the 2023 model year. For 2023, the Corolla can now be had as an all-wheel drive hybrid, and it makes it the only regular non-Corolla other than the Rally. Oh, no. That's not true. That's not true anymore. The LE and SE trim will be offered with this hybrid all-wheel drive system, which adds an electric motor at the rear axle to supplement the hybrid system at the front. So this is similar to the Prius all-wheel drive system. No, Jack. These are two separate vehicles. They might be built at the same factory, but this doesn't share a lot of things with the Mazda CX-30. This isn't like a GR86 BRZ type thing. It's actually two different vehicles that are just sharing factory resources. On the subject of the hybrid system, which is available in front-wheel drive and all-wheel drive, it is now offered on the... Oh, amazing. Okay. One of the problems with the Corolla Hybrid, okay, was that you could only get it with the LE trim. Now, the LE trim is fine. It has more than enough features, more than enough things people are looking for, but it's relatively sparsely equipped. There's not a lot of things going on with the LE. So now Toyota is offering SE and XLE trim. So if you want to get more features in your Corolla Hybrid, you'll be able to get that. And new battery in a different location. So this thing should drive a little bit spicier too. Interesting. That's cool. That's cool. Okay, great. So new colors, whatever, who cares? Updated safety, not much going on there. Okay, so The TLDR here, okay, is that they revised this slightly. Now, you wouldn't be able to tell if you had two of these parked next to each other. They look almost exactly the same, but it's a slight difference to the headlight design to make it just look a lot more sharp. The interior is largely the same, but the biggest news is that they're introducing not only an all-wheel drive hybrid, but they're introducing different models to the hybrid Corolla. So that's good. That's good. That's great. Super pumped to have that in Toyota's family. Jack says, even in the case of the A86 and BRZ, how does that work? Why would two manufacturers build their own versions of the same car? How do they justify building and competing? So what happens here is this, okay? Subaru and Toyota jointly developed the BRZ. They jointly developed the Solterra and BZ4X. And because two companies are jointly developing a relatively similar vehicle, the costs to develop that vehicle are offset by two companies. So instead of Toyota having to go all out on its own and develop and produce a two-door coupe, they now have another company to share that burden of R&D. They have another company to share that burden of production. They have another company to share that burden of all the costs associated. And then they can just sell them. So it works out. Now, the thing with the consumer is like, you know, you get to pick because the Toyota and Subaru are very similar. So you could go one or the other. There's not a lot of differentiating things there. But that's why they do it. They would hope that they have enough brand loyalty so that they could sell a lot of their own particular model. Buick to become electric-only brand by the end of the decade. Okay, cool. Whatever. A Macan EV interior. Okay, cool. Whatever. Ooh. F-150 Lightning owner opens up about towing and range reduction. Nick towed a 23-foot Airstream about 30 miles. It weighed 6,000 pounds loaded. He traveled about 65 miles an hour on a flat route. The truck felt highly capable and provided Nick an overall solid experience. As far as efficiency was concerned, Nick said he was seeing 0.8 miles per kilowatt. For comparison, without a trailer, he's getting 1.5 to 1.8, thus about a 50% reduction. This continues to further prove what we've been saying all along, which is if you want to know how your truck will do when towing, take the range number and cut it in half. And that is what your truck will be able to do when it tows. Cool to see someone actually do it, though. We talked about the Corolla Cross Hybrid. We talked about the cosmetic upgrades, and we talked about the Corolla all-wheel drive. We talked about the BMW iX1. New GLC is debuting today at 11 a.m. Eastern, so in just a little bit over an hour. That'll be an important car. Maybe we can talk about that one a little bit later. Lexus RX, we talked about that. Bam, wham, bam, thank you, ma'am. Mercedes has finally unveiled... No, what? 80 miles of range towing? What are you talking about, Jack? The car doesn't have 160 miles of range. The Ford Lightning has two battery options, either 240 miles of range or 300. So you're looking at either 120 to 150 miles of range while towing. Roughly. Obviously that varies. It depends on where you're towing. It depends on how you're towing. It depends on what you're towing. But roughly 100 to 150 range is what you can expect. 5.5 years we have been waiting for this car, and it is finally here in production. Guys, this is the Mercedes AMG 1. And for those of you that don't know what this is, maybe this is your first time seeing this car, this is an F1 powered road car. Yes, that's right. It has the 1.6 liter turbocharged engine from a Formula One car. There's an F1 engine at its core. It's road legal, and it packs a combined 1,049 horsepower. Philip Scheimer, chairman of management board for Mercedes-AMG, says, with the Mercedes-AMG 1, we have more than pushed the boundaries. The immense technical challenges of making a modern Formula One powertrain suitable for everyday use on the road have undoubtedly pushed us to our limits. Many may have thought during the development period that it was impossible to implement. However, the teams in Affalterbach and Great Britain never gave up and believed in themselves. I have the greatest respect for all the participants, and I am proud of the teamwork. So what do we got? We got a 1.6 liter V6 internal combustion engine that spins to 11,000 RPM with one turbo and electric assist. The engine utilizes double overhead cams, air spring valves, direct injection, and a complex exhaust gas cleaning system to produce 566 horsepower on its own. Blunden, you're totally right. Anybody who is towing full-time or regularly over 100 miles a day, it makes no sense to buy an electric pickup truck at this time. Now, if you're doing small things around town, you know, you have a landscaping company, you're towing your, your tractors, your mowers, things like that, but you're staying in a town, then sure, I get that. You know, let's say you work in, Kansas City, or you work in a rural whatever town in Minnesota, or even in New England, whatever. But you're staying mainly in the confines of your town, but you're just towing a truck and trailer to go, you know, from job to job. Then yeah, it makes sense. Makes a lot of sense. But if you're, you know, a long haul trucker, or you're moving cars, or you're transporting things and all that jazz, no, it makes no sense. No sense at all. I'm with you. So, the gas engine alone here makes 566 horsepower. But wait, there's more. There's not one, not two, not three, but 4 electric motors capable of giving the one its overall rating of 1,049. Now, it is way too early in the day for me, so I'm going to whip out the calculator here. 1,049 minus the 566 horsepower means that those 4 electric motors are giving this car 483 horsepower on their own. Blunden says, I love the abilities my ice truck has, but hate filling the tank and tow a boat to the lake on the weekends. Oh, yeah. So for you, I mean, we both can agree, obviously, because you're looking at an XLT. You're ordering one. But yeah, that use case is perfect. Perfect. Because not only, okay, are you having to fill the boat with gas, but you would have to fill the F-150 with gas to tow it there. Now you can at least get electric. So you only have to fill one of those things. Now, I get that 100%. So, 4 motors, 2 of them are at the front, 1 at each wheel, and those motors generate 322 horsepower. The third one is installed with the gasoline engine that adds 161 horsepower to the crank. And the fourth one is tied to the high-tech turbocharger, which Mercedes says adds another 121 horsepower to the mix. Wow, interesting. Initially, when you hear 4 electric motors, you think, okay, this is mainly 1 at each wheel, similar to a Rivian R1T, to provide differences in performance. But that's not the case here. Mercedes is putting 2 of the electric motors at each of the front wheels that generate the majority of the power, 322 of the nearly 400 plus horsepower. And then the other ones help the gasoline engine. So the third motor is attached to the crank pretty much, and the fourth motor helps spin up the turbo. That's really cool. The motor can also recoup the turbo as the exhaust gases spin it up, which can be sent elsewhere. In addition to the engine, Mercedes engineers have spent considerable time on the one's lithium-ion batteries. Being a plug-in hybrid, it doesn't carry the sheer number of batteries as you might find in a pure EV, but keeping it... Okay, cool. The result is a car with over 1,000 combined horsepower that maintains battery temps at 45 degrees Celsius. It can go 11.2 miles on electric alone, and it weighs 3,700 pounds. That is mega light for something that has batteries and electric motors and all that jazz. The one will accelerate from 0 to 60 in 2.9 seconds. That's fast. Holy cow. Ooh, but it's not as fast as a C8 Corvette. Perhaps more impressive is it will do 0 to 124 in 7 seconds. Holy shnikes. Holy shnikes. I don't know if the electric motors, Jack, are going to be used to spin the turbofan like what they are in the Volvo. I think they're used to like give the turbo more juice. But I don't know. Maybe we'll learn more about that as we go on. The one's monocoque chassis with pushrod suspension, with different modes. It generates, as you can imagine, the body is a case study in aerodynamics. It generates negative lift at speeds above 31 miles per hour. That's cool. Perhaps active spoilers on the front diffusers, ventilation slots in the front wheel arches, and of course, the rear wing. Mercedes says downforce is 5 times higher in track mode than in normal highway mode, and there's a third mode called Race DRS, which is a low drag mode for reaching top speed. Cool, 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 cool. My ice truck, it's about 20 mpg combined, drops to 11 mpg with yeah, exactly. Spot on. And a lot of folks don't like to hear that. You know, London, it's like, I think they, whoa, that scared the bejesus out of me. Shout out to Duana Guthrie for the subscription. Sorry about that, guys, if you're wearing headphones. That literally scared the bejesus out of me. So Duana, DG, if you're here in the chat, you just scared the bejesus out of me. But thank you for the subscription. Appreciate that. Welcome. Plus, these EVs pulling trailers are going to piss off everyone at charging stations. Oh, no doubt, London. No doubt. Jack, it's coming back. Matt and I have been super busy the last couple weeks. Don't worry. F1XL is still a thing. The Formula One experience isn't limited to the engine or suspension. Inside the AMG 1, you'll find deep sculpted seats that provide a straight-out orientation for your legs. The driver grips a rectangular-style F1 wheel with two 10-inch screens, butterfly doors that contain power windows, air conditioning, and a camera that replaces a traditional rear-view mirror. Okay. The automaker's latest announcement was absent of some information, although we've known for some time that just 275 are planned at a price of $2 million, and each one is already spoken for. Yowza. They've made 275 of these, and all of them sold. That's crazy. Let's take a look at this. Not much different than the concept, or that it's looked over the years in terms of design. One of the things that you will notice, though, is that this is the low-speed configuration, okay? So you don't really see a wing, and then bang, you go to track, and poof, out pops this huge GT wing, which looks sinister. Really, really cool that it can, effectively transform from this to full track. That is legitness. Yeah, I think, with the 11 miles of electric range, Jack, this is truly efficient to own on a daily basis. Look at this. Look at this. Pit speed limiter, where you can increase and lower it, which I'm assuming they're just using as a play on cruise control. High beams. DRS, which is the drag reduction system that we talked about, where the flap goes down. Has a push-to-pass button. Drive mode selector, volume, phone. Oh, you make calls in your AMG 1. I can already try to find the people that are going to try to buy this wheel. That's sick. This is so cool. Holy cow. Fire extinguisher, because race car. Oh, it tells you the temperatures of everything. The batteries, the motor. That's cool. That's good. Look at those seats. Here's one of the things that I don't really understand. Not that I don't understand it. I get it, right? You're spending $2 million on a car. You want to make sure that it fits you perfectly. Okay, I totally get that. But if someone is selling one of these used and it was sculpted for somebody else, that sucks. That sucks. Could you imagine I buy one of these, okay? 6 feet, 290 pounds, okay? I buy one of these. Sculpted for me, okay? And then we have another guy who comes in, I don't know, some skinnier man or woman. Say Lewis Hamilton, okay? Or actually, let's say Yuki Tsunoda. Yuki Tsunoda comes in and he buys my AMG 1. He's 5 feet tall. What happens then? That sucks. Blended says, do you have any information on the Santa Fe plug-in hybrid? What do you want to know? Do you want to know if it's any good? Or do you want to know details about it? Because we can go over it, for sure. But let me know specifically what you're looking for. Happy to help. Definitely. Man, that thing is awesome. Kudos to Mercedes for finally cracking the code. Good for them, good for them, good for them. Let's see what else we got going on. Any other news today? The X1 we talked about. Oh, is it practical for people that tow? Blunden, get ready for a metric F-ton of these types of videos, by the way. People with their electric pickup trucks towing things and telling you that the range is cut in half. TRD edition, LMDH car, cool, cool. No, it doesn't, Jack. It does not have massage or ventilating seats. Oh, the Defender 130. I forgot about this thing. All right, we got a couple more cars to touch on, and then we're going to call this a wrap at the top of the hour. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in. This has been great. About an hour long so far. Anyone have $2 million in the car can afford to have it work? Oh, yeah, for sure. For sure. Okay. 2023 Toyota RAV4 Hybrid Woodland Edition. It's literally just badges, bronze wheels, and the TRD tuned suspension. Now you know. BMW is showcasing their LMDH car, or at least previewing it. And for those that don't know, there are 2 different classes in Le Mans that will compete for the overall win in the coming years. There's Le Mans Hypercar and there's Le Mans Daytona Hypercar. I'm sure they're calling it something else. But the LMDH is meant to keep costs down, so it standardizes the chassis manufacturer, and it standardizes a bunch of different things, including like where you can use electric motors, things of that like. And because of that, it made it a lot more appealing for other manufacturers to come in. So BMW is going to be showcasing their car in the 6th of June, but we've already seen some other vehicles. Porsche has tested their LMDH car. Acura and Cadillac do theirs all the time. This is what the Porsche one's looking like so far. It's also important to note that we've seen some hypercars already. Peugeot has showcased their LMH car. Here it is. It has no freaking rear wing. It's one of the first race cars in recent history that I've seen that is going to attempt to compete at this high level with no rear wing. So it'll be interesting to see if they're able to sort of do that successfully. Cadillac is in racing, Jack. Where have you been? Where have you been? Cadillac is in racing, and they are succeeding. This is their LMDH car. There it is. And it does really, really well. Really, really well. So yeah, they are racing for sure. Where have you been? Blunden says, can't build or find any stock on their website. Have you seen or driven one? I've only driven the gasoline powered new Santa Fe, the turbo one with the 2.5. What I will say is the fit and finish inside was very good. The power levels of the 2.5 are more than adequate and more than you would find in a comparable Toyota Highlander, which was nice. What I will say is that you will not find a plug-in hybrid SUV of that size and that price that has that range capability. The only other plug-in hybrid SUV that is sort of in that class of Santa Fe is the Jeep Grand Cherokee that just came out, but it's a lot more expensive. You're looking at like 55 to 60 grand for a Jeep Grand Cherokee 4xe London. So I think it's a good machine for sure. I think it is a good machine for sure. Yeah, especially at the price point. Like it's tough to really beat that, right? Yeah, there it is. Yeah, it's literally $10,000 cheaper, even in limited trim. So, yeah, totally worth it. I would probably go limited. With the beige, because it's not even really beige. Yeah, totally. Yes, they do. Oh, yeah. Then it's a no-brainer. If you're already in that car and you like it a lot. I mean, is she looking for something like that over like an Ioniq 5, though? You know what I mean? Just saying. All right, we got to talk about this thing super quick. Land Rover showcased the all-new Defender 130, which literally just means Defender Long Boy. For those of you that don't know or aren't privy to what the sort of numbers mean at the end, it all pertains to size. Defender 90 is just the two-door Defender. Defender 110 is the four-door Defender. And now this new Defender 130 is the four-door Long Boy Defender, which has seating for up to 8 people. This is a huge car. Look at this thing. Look. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And there's even legroom back here. You got to get it with this interior color. But look at this lad. He fits no problem. He's not even slouching. Oh, interesting. It's got to be perception then, London, because it's not actually small, but we both know that. Anyway. Yeah, the EV6 is gorgeous. Very good looking. Ooh, this color is terrific. This color is terrific. But yeah, look at this. Huge panoramic sunroof. I mean, this is effectively just so they can sell a lot more of them, right? A lot of people like big SUVs, so why not get a Defender with more passenger room? What I will also say is the Land Rover Defender is one of the uniquely positioned SUVs that actually has a lot of towing capability. You can tow over 8,000 pounds with a Land Rover Defender, and this longer wheelbase 130 will likely handle towing a lot better than something like the two-door 90 would. Think about towing, you know. Oh yeah, here's the family photo with the three of them. Why is it so small? There's the three of them. 90, 110, 130, all of them can tow 8,000 pounds, but 8,000 pounds towing in this is going to be a lot sketchier than 8,000 pounds towing in this. So that could also be a good thing there. Unforeseen benefits. When it comes to pricing, it's going to start at $68,000 and it can go all the way to $120,000. Oh yeah, Blunden, I'm with you, man. The Ioniq 5 is slamming. You bet, Jack. Yeah, the Ioniq 5 is slamming. Every time I see him, I'm like, yeah, that thing is nice. Nice. All right. DeLorean is back officially. And this is its new Alpha 5. Obviously, it took design inspiration from the DMC-12. Massive wheels, slim front lights, curvaceous body, two-tone finish, and it is full electric. 3.4 seconds to 60. Battery pack with 100 kilowatt hours, which means it'll have an EPA estimated range in excess of 300 miles. In the base model, considering that there might potentially be more high-performance models in the future. Only 88 cars will be made, with a V8 sports-powered coupe to follow. Interesting. They're not actually making a lot of these. That's weird. Very weird. Yeah, what do you guys think? They're only making 88 of them. It's all electric. I kind of like this. When the doors go up, they also have reflectors in them. I think that's interesting. I don't know if I'm a fan of these lights down here, and I think there's a lot going on here. I think it's overall good looking, but there's definitely like a lot going on. Might be a little too much for me, if I'm being honest. Do they get into yeah, okay, perfect. The interior, perfectly fine. Very lucid air-like. Let me show you guys what that looks like. Very lucid air-like in the interior here. Very similar. Gull-wing door opens up, make it easy to get in and out depending on what seat you want to get into. But yeah, obviously these are all renderings too, guys. So we'll see. We will see if they are able to do it. All right, now let's go to Inside EVs, see if we can find anything here. And if not, we will wrap up for today. Xpeng noticeably increased EV sales despite lockdowns. That's cool. NIO slightly increased electric car sales. That makes sense. IDRA, we should talk about that really quick. All right. Xpeng noticeably increased EV sales despite lockdowns. Yes, guys, this is a real car. You can get the Xpeng P7 with Lambo doors, which is hilarious. Increased 78% year over year. That's pretty awesome. Good for them. Let's see if that affected their stock price. That it did. They are up 14% in the past 5 days. Kudos. Watch IDRA assemble Tesla's Cybertruck's 9,000-ton gigapress. Looky here. They are putting together what will be the thing that presses out Cybertruck bodies. So this is a huge press. You can sort of see cutouts here. This looks very similar to it. Hold on a minute. Hold on a minute. How do I ban this person? Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. All right, we did it. Yeah, it's a no-brainer. Sorry, guys. Sorry about that. All right. All right. Okay, so yeah, so this is the thing that's going to be pressing out the Cybertruck bodies. This is like one of the last pieces. Okay, this is one of the last pieces to Cybertruck production, and that is getting the Gigapress that is going to be assembling the bodies for the Cybertruck. So that is done. The event is going to take place June 6 to 14, and that's where they're going to have an open house to sort of show these off because they're really like world first things. But yeah. Musk said that the Cybertruck's rear body would require an 8,000-ton gigapress, so it appears IDRA stepped it up a notch. We're actually going to be using even bigger casting machines for the rear body because it's a bigger vehicle. You've got a long truck bed that's going to support a lot of load, so we'll be using an 8,000-ton casting press for the rear body as opposed to 6,000-ton for the Model Y. Pretty interesting. Genesis delivers their GV60 to the U.S. Jealous. I would love one of these. Starting at $58,000, think about this as a luxury version of the Ioniq 5. Deliveries are happening now. Pretty cool. Aptera says it has 22,000 reservations for its solar EV. As a reminder for folks, you can have between 250 to 1,000 miles. The most expensive variant costs $45,000, with the cheapest costing $26,000. Jack asks, I saw you placed an order. Do you expect to ever get it? Yes, I do. I do. However, one of the things that I potentially expect to change is if you go on Aptera's website. Oh boy. Sorry, guys. If you go on Aptera's website, they offer the ability for you to select a custom color for both the interior and the exterior. So this is the Aptera. Hold on, let me do this. Nope. This. Nope. All right, I'm just going to leave myself there. You know you're big time when you get the bots. Yeah, Blondin. Yeah, we're huge, dude. Thanks for gassing me up, guys. Appreciate that. Okay, so this is the Aptera Motors EV. I've talked about this in the past with a video on the channel, but I do have a reservation in for one of these. I placed it in 2021. For those of you that don't know what this is, it is an electric vehicle with solar panels. You can see the solar panels here. There's also solar panels here. There's also solar panels here, everywhere. And because of that, depending on which option you get, this thing potentially has the ability to charge 40 miles a day in just solar power alone, which is a lot, especially when you consider driving distance of average American per day is 39 miles. So technically, if this Aptera lives true to its name, you'll be able to get a full day's charge just off the sun, provided you don't leave this thing in a freaking garage. Now, why I say that some things might potentially change with my order is because I picked this. You can select custom colors for your Aptera. I do realize the chat's in the way, that's why I'm reading this. So this sort of like neochrome deal here, okay? It says, quote, you can select custom colors for your Aptera. We will contact you with more details prior to final delivery. I selected this because I want my Aptera in oak green. That is a Porsche color, and this is the color that I would like my car in because I think it would not only be hilarious to have a really green EV car in green, but I think it's a gorgeous color. So I believe that this is subject to change. I think they would be more than likely going to change that because you also have the ability to do that for the interior. You can select a custom color for the interior. If I had it my way, I would do a custom color for the interior as well with brown, but I think we're more plausible. I think it's more likely that we can get a custom exterior color versus a custom interior color. So I selected Codex because I think that this sort of wood trim and the gray goes best with a green exterior versus any of these other ones. So you'll notice there's a lot of like Tesla similarities here. A lot of the switchgear is actually very similar to Tesla as well. But then if you go up, we'll go back here so you guys can see the outside. If they made me switch to a color, I'd probably get black, if I'm being honest. Anyway. So you have a bunch of different battery options, 250 miles, 400 miles, 600 miles, 1,000 miles. I did the 600-mile option. I don't know why. I think the price point of only $5,000 difference to get an additional 200 miles was worth it. So I did the 600-mile option. I did all panels. So you have the option to get just solar panel on the roof and the dash. You can get the solar hood. You can get the solar rear hatch, or you can get all of them. And I wanted all of them because why get this car if you're not going to spend the $900 to get everything? So you can get the full 40 miles a day. I also did all-wheel drive. So my car is tri-motor, and it will have a 0 to 60 of 3.5 seconds, 40 miles of electric range every day, and a 600-mile battery for $38,000. Now, if the electric credits continue by the time this car is produced, you're looking at a car that in Massachusetts you'll be able to get for $28,000 that has 600 miles of range with 3.5 seconds 0 to 60 time, which made it well worth it, especially if I can get it in oak green. So anyway, so that is the car. If you guys want to see more about it, friend of the channel, Rich Rebuilds, recently did a tour of the factory where they went down there, got to check it out. Rich got to drive it, got to experience it, got to learn more about the tech, talk to the CEO. So if you guys haven't seen this video, I would definitely check it out. This is the beta product which they've created to mainly test out the suspension technology in the car. But yeah, Rich did an extensive view. It's a 30-minute video, so you guys should definitely go check that out. But the reason why they're back in the news again is because they have over 22,000 reservations, and they are still online. They want to build 10,000 cars by the end of this year. So I doubt... I might be in that first 10,000, but we'll see. I'm not holding my breath, and quite frankly, I actually want it to be next year for me, because I have a lot of cars in the pipeline for this year that we will be working through. So with that said, guys, I want to thank everybody for tuning in today. I think that is where we are going to call it. Skosh over 1 hour. I'm your host, Thanasi. This is Money Shift, and coming soon is a new file page. Now, folks, let's riff a little bit here, okay? I want to tell you guys about the Money Shift sort of overall goal, and I know we've talked about this in the past, and maybe this is, old and annoying, but hey, it is what it is. So, when I first created MoneyShift, I, like a lot of folks, wanted to make an automotive review channel because, who doesn't want to be a Top Gear reviewer, right? That's the dream. You get to review all the new cars. You get to do all these cool new things, whatever. But then I sort of realized, oh, hey, what's the bev today? Jack, we just got water, man. Water. But then I sort of realized that there was a massive gap on YouTube and in general that was not being filled. And that was this sort of long-term review portion brought to life. So one of the things that older car magazines and current ones still do, but it's not as prominent, is they purchase a vehicle and they drive it for, right around 10,000 miles, and they tell you about their experience along the way. And one of the things that this does is it gives you confidence in the vehicle that you're looking to buy, or it provides an understanding of the vehicle that you potentially might want to purchase instead, right? For example, we did this now pretty extensively with the Ford Maverick. So with the Ford Maverick, we did everything from comparison videos to full reviews to everything you need to know about that car, from infotainment to trim level to all of this. And the hope is that, over the course of all of these videos, that if you are interested in a Ford Maverick hybrid, whatever, that, by viewing, how many videos did I make on this car? Let's see. 38 videos. After these 38 videos, you had a complete understanding of the Ford Maverick. And you could sit down and say, hey, yeah, this is a car that I want. Or, nah, it's not. I'll move on to the next one. But because we're self-funded, meaning I'm paying for all of this myself, okay? Ford is not giving me Mavericks. No company is giving me a long-term vehicle here. I got to keep it moving, okay? So the Ford Mavericks are gone, but what is coming is a Toyota BZ4X. Now, that is the first ground-up all-electric Toyota, and it promises to be a very important vehicle for the brand because it's going to be the basis for a lot of electric vehicles that are to follow. There's a Lexus that's using the similar platform that is coming at the end of the year, and there's going to be other cars that utilize the same battery and the same motor that come in the subsequent 5 to 10 years. So getting an understanding of if that BZ4X is the car for you is something that I want to provide. So when that car comes in, we're not only going to be doing comparisons with other electric vehicles like the Ioniq 5, like the Kia EV6, like the Tesla Model Y, but we're also going to be doing it to internal combustion engine vehicles like the RAV4, like the CR-V, because I think it's very important for folks to get an understanding of the car that they're thinking about buying. And sometimes even if you go to a dealership, you don't have the ability to sort of line things up against each other, but we're also going to drive it. Okay. I have a 1,000-mile road trip planned, and that's 1,000 miles each way. So we're going to be testing out the charging system. We're going to be testing out the charging speeds. We're going to be testing out the Toyota sensing system. I'm going to tell you guys, is the Limited worth it? Should you go for the XLE? Is the all-wheel drive worth it? Should you go for the front-wheel drive? But then we're going to move on again, right? So the BZ4X is going to be driven for roughly 10,000 miles. But then we have something else, okay? There's the Cadillac Lyriq. There's the Silverado EV. There's the Lucid Air. There's the Tesla Model 3, right? There's a lot of these electric vehicles that I want to bring a similar, 35 to 40 video suite to YouTube of consistently. And with no aftermarket support, I got to sort of do this on my own. And I appreciate everyone's support for watching this, supporting the channel. YouTube, it definitely helps out big time for me to be able to even think about doing these things. But it is, at the end of the day, it is me, right? Like, it's me paying the bills to try to do this stuff. So appreciate all the support. Appreciate folks that have bought into the sort of Money Shift ethos and are really trying to learn more about the vehicles that are offered today. I think the average price of a motor vehicle today is more expensive than it has ever been, and we have less coverage on vehicles than we ever have before. So, yes, reviews are great. Going to YouTube and searching the latest and greatest, Acura Integra review or whatever is really great, super powerful, very helpful. There's a lot of really awesome people generating first drive or high level thought reviews on cars that should help you make your purchase. But what they don't do is they don't tell you about specific packaging. They don't tell you what the car is like after 1,000 miles. They don't tell you about how specific features work. And that is where I want to come in to fill that niche. So I appreciate everyone's support up until this point. And I hope that y'all will support me as we continue. With that said, thank you, Jack. Appreciate that. I am Thanasi. This is the Money Shift YouTube channel, your one stop for everything automotive. I will see you next time. Goodbye.